Most people think if you live in an RV full time, you can just travel wherever you want and not really live in any state. But legally, that's not how it works. If you want to register your RV, get insurance, vote, file taxes, or even keep a valid driver's license, you must have a legal home state. And if you get this wrong, you could end up owing thousands in back taxes, losing insurance coverage, or even having legal issues with your estate. Today, I'm breaking down what RV domicile actually is, how full-time RVers establish it, the 3 states most RVers choose, and the 10 steps that prove it legally. Because yes, even if you live everywhere, you still have to legally live somewhere. The first thing to understand is that domicile and residence are not the same thing. A residence is simply where you live. If you're an RVer, your residence could change every few days. One week you're in Arizona, next week you're in Utah, next month you're in Maine. Your RV itself is your residence, but your domicile is different. Your domicile is your legal home state. It's the place you intend to return to, even if you're rarely there. And legally, you can only have one domicile at a time. This one state determines things like where you vote, where your vehicles are registered, where your driver's license comes from, where your insurance policies are issued, and which state tax laws apply to you. So even if you travel constantly, you cannot just float between states without a legal home base. And this isn't just a technicality. If your domicile is unclear, real problems can happen. For example, your previous state could claim you never actually left. That can lead to back taxes, penalties, and interest. Insurance companies could claim you misrepresented where you live and refuse coverage. And in legal situations, courts typically have jurisdiction in the state where you're domiciled. Even things like probate, lawsuits, or political eligibility can depend on it. So establishing a clear domicile is not optional. It's one of the first legal steps of full-time RV life. Now here's the big question. If you live in an RV, how do you even have an address? Because a post office box is not enough for most legal purposes. DMVs, banks, and insurance companies usually require a physical street address. That's where mail forwarding services come in. These companies give RVers a real street address where your mail is received. Then they can hold it, scan it, or forward it to wherever you are. Some of the most popular RV mail services include Escapees RV Club, Dakota Post, and St. Brendan's Isle. There are also virtual mailbox services like Traveling Mailbox or iPostal One that let you view your mail digitally. And some RVers simply use the address of a trusted family member or friend. The key is that you need a real address tied to a state. That address becomes the foundation of your legal domicile. Most full-time RVers choose one of 3 states: Florida, Texas, or South Dakota. And there are a few reasons these states dominate the RV world. First, none of them have state income tax. Second, they all allow mail forwarding addresses for residency. And third, they have systems that are relatively friendly to RVers. For example, South Dakota only requires 1 overnight stay to establish residency. Texas has long worked with RVers through services like Escapees, and Florida offers a lot of residency benefits and insurance options. But there's an important point here. There is no perfect state. Insurance costs, vehicle registration fees, healthcare options, and taxes can all vary. So the best state really depends on your personal situation. Once you pick a state, you need to take steps that show intent to make it your legal home. Courts look at the total picture of your life, not just one document. Here are the most common steps RVers take. First, get a physical address in that state through a mail forwarding service. Second, register your vehicles there. Third, get a driver's license in that state. Fourth, file an affidavit of domicile if the state offers one. Fifth, register to vote. Sixth, update legal documents like wills or trusts in that state. Seventh, spend some time physically present there occasionally. Eighth, establish professional relationships like doctors or accountants. Ninth, create social ties such as memberships or local organizations. And 10th, move any storage or remaining property to your new state if possible. You don't necessarily have to do every single one, but the more connections you have with that state, the stronger your legal domicile becomes. One of the biggest mistakes RVers make is choosing a state for tax benefits and then never going back there again. There was even a real case where a couple switched their domicile to South Dakota, but then spent the next year and a half traveling everywhere else. Their former state challenged it, and they ended up losing and paying back taxes and penalties. So the lesson is simple. Your domicile state should be somewhere that you actually intend to return to from time to time, not just a place you visit once to fill out the paperwork. So if full-time RV life is in your future, one of the first decisions that you'll need to make is where will you legally live? Your RV might take you everywhere, but your domicile is the anchor that keeps everything legal and organized. Taxes, insurance, banking, voting, licensing, all of it connects back to that one choice. And if you're planning to hit the road someday, this is a decision that is worth researching carefully. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe and let us know in the comments if you've been through this process and what hiccups you may have encountered. We want to know. Thanks so much for watching today, and we'll see you in the next video.